It's time for this week's episode of Brandon's Sports Talk.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Princeton's assistant women's ice hockey coach, Coach Courtney Kessler. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in coaching in college ice hockey?
Yeah. So I think like right out of college, I started coaching minor hockey, like U14, U16, U19, and I just truly fell in love with all the girls. And I know that my minor hockey coaches really touched my life in a special way, and that's something that I wanted to. I wanted to kind of give back to the sport and touch these players' lives. Whether it be on the ice or off the ice. And obviously, the minor league, you can't really make a living out of it, and so when I got the call from Kara Mori at Princeton, I knew that it was something that I truly be passionate about.
What was it like going to college and playing college hockey for the University of New Hampshire?
It was incredible. Definitely the best 4 years of your life. We were obviously good, so that helped. But you just meet so many like different people from around the world that come in to play hockey, and hockey's their passion, and so it's exciting to share that passion with others. And like I said, we were pretty good, so that always helped make it a good experience.
What was that feeling like of getting to put on that New Hampshire college hockey jersey?
So when I first walked into the UNH hockey facility, I was in grade 9, and I just at the WIT. I walked out and I looked at the ice, and I was like, wow, this is where I want to play hockey. And so when they finally called me and I got the scholarship offer to go there, it was pretty special. So yeah, putting on the jersey, it's unique, and knowing that that's where you're going to be for 4 years and this is going to be your new family, it was incredible.
What was that feeling like in your senior year of New Hampshire being named captain?
It's kind of funny now that I'm a coach and understanding, that everyone can be a leader, whether they wear a letter or not. But it's special to know that your team looks to you to be the leader of their team, because we're all special in our own ways and we all lead in our own ways. But I think to wear the C and know that your team's looking at you as a leader, it's definitely something rewarding.
What were some of your biggest college accomplishments?
In college, so we won the ECAC, or sorry, the ECAC. Now I'm in the ECAC. We won the Hockey East. So that was awesome. And then my freshman year, sophomore year, and junior year, we went to the top 8 NCAAs. So that was pretty incredible. My freshman year, we actually went to the Frozen Four. We ended up losing to Minnesota Duluth. And then personally, I think I was second team All-American my senior year and first team Hockey East. So that's exciting.
What was that feeling like as a player going to the Frozen Four?
The Frozen Four, yeah, I mean, it's a journey to get there, that's for sure. And the leagues have come so far, and there's so much competition now. And we played St. Lawrence at home in the top 8, and we ended up winning. And then heading off to Minnesota Duluth. It was in Minnesota Duluth, and we played Minnesota Duluth, and it was a great game. I actually think we outshot them like 52-12, and we ended up losing. Kim Martin was in net from Sweden, and she just stood on her head, but it was incredible.
Of course, after your college hockey time, what was that like, obviously going into the CWHL?
Yeah, so it was fairly new. But I think they started doing a draft. And so I reached out to Brampton because I'm originally from Mississauga. So Brampton's right around the corner from my house where I grew up. And I figured like that's the place I want to play. And just, I played with Jana Heffer, Jillian Apps, Sherry Piper. I know Vicky Bendis and I are really good friends, and we both got drafted to Brampton. So that was great.
What was that like getting to play for Brampton, being so close to your home?
It was awesome. I mean, every weekend my family came out. They're my biggest supporters, not just my mom, dad, and my sister, but like my aunts, uncles, cousins. Every weekend they were in the stands there for me. So, and now when I look back, like I just cherish those moments, and it was so special that they were able to watch me at that level, and to be able to inspire my younger cousins to chase their dreams. It was really cool.
What was that feeling like for you getting to put on that first professional hockey jersey?
The Brampton one, yeah. I mean, I think at the time you don't really appreciate the work that goes into growing this game. And now that I'm out and I see the PHF and the PWHPA really pushing to grow the game for women's hockey and to have this professional league, I think when I look back now, I wish I really appreciated it more. But you're kind of in the moment, you're young, you're still a little bit immature, you don't quite understand like what you're doing. And so yeah, I mean, I definitely appreciated that I had a place to play, but now that I'm a little bit older, like I really appreciate, the work and effort that went into creating the CWHL.
How was that like, obviously getting to play for Hockey Canada and also coaching for Hockey Canada too?
Yeah, so that was a quick turnaround. I kind of retired and then went right onto the bench, but playing for your country, playing for Team Canada, I mean, there's no words to describe how special it is. It's Canada's game, and to be one of the top in Canada and to be able to wear that jersey is it's pretty special to be selected on that team. So that was incredible. And then being able to be on the bench again, it was wild. I retired and then I got a call to go on the bench, and it was special just to see the other side, and again how much work really goes into putting on those tournaments and being prepared for those athletes, but just to know what they were going through and then be able to stand behind them and coach them and guide them, it was special.
Of course, during your time of playing with Team Canada, did you ever go to the Olympic level?
I didn't. I was centralized for the 2014 Olympics. And unfortunately I was the last cut. I was an alternate heading into Sochi. So
What was that like, obviously getting to put on that Team Canada and represent not only your country, but around the world?
yeah, so I mean, being one of the top females in Canada, it's quite incredible. There's so much work that goes into it, and I don't think that people on the outside really understand what it's like to be an athlete at that level. You really have to put your life on hold, and it's just like you're training and you're chasing this goal that you might never reach. And so it's special just to know that everything you put in that you've earned and it wasn't given, and that it kind of paid off. So yeah, every time you step on the ice, every time you get to put that Team Canada jersey on, it's an incredible feeling.
What was it like, obviously getting to coach the Canada national developmental team?
The development team, yeah. So that was my first opportunity to be on the bench with Team Canada. And I knew a few of the players just from, like I said, coaching in the minors when I came out of college. So it was fun to see these younger girls grow up, and now they're in college and they're chasing the dream that I chased. And so it was special to be able to share that moment with them.
How was the feeling like when you got your first head coaching job with the CWHL for the Toronto Fury?
The Toronto Furies, that was quite a special year. You don't really know how it's going to go. A lot of those players I'd played against, played with, played on Team Canada with or against. And so I was young and I just kind of applied for the position and didn't really know what to expect. But it was quite rewarding to see the respect that they gave me each and every day. It was really rewarding.
What were some of your accomplishments on the professional level coaching as a head coach?
I'm not really sure. I'm trying to think about the season. I think, individually, I grew tremendously as a coach, but as a person as well. And I surrounded myself with three men that were, willing to do whatever it took to help us be successful, and their knowledge of the game and just their presence on the bench and being there to support me through it, like as a young coach, I think was very rewarding. And then, as a team, we made playoffs and we went for a good run. We played Calgary, who was the number one seed, who had probably about 12 national players. And so we knew we were up up against a good fight, but we took him to game 3, and unfortunately we fell short. But it was a great season overall.
What was the transition like from you from going from being a head coach at the professional level to going to Princeton to become an assistant coach?
Yeah, so I think, being a head coach, I learned a lot in the CWHL, but I knew I was still young and I needed to learn a lot. And so coming here and to coach under Kara Mori, another female that has tremendous leadership, her culture that she presents in the change room, off the ice, something that I really need to put kind of in my basket of tricks to one day hopefully be a head coach again. And so it really wasn't a hard transition. I think it was a good transition, things that I brought to the table, and things that Kara has been teaching me. And, Mel Ruzzi was here my first year, veteran basically of the NCAA. She's been in the NCAA for, I think, 10 to 12 years. And so I learned so many things from her, and just different ways to approach athletes and practice and, away from the rink communication. So it's been great to learn new things.
What was that first year like in 2019, obviously becoming an assistant coach?
Yeah, so actually I just mentioned Mel Ruzzi, but she's the head coach of Brown now. And, I think we lived together actually, it was fun. And so just to learn from her and her experiences, she really like set a path for me and guided me throughout the year of, all the NCAA rules and the ins and outs. And then again, to learn from Kara and her leadership, just the culture she creates, the communication she has with her players, I think, I'm definitely going to take with me and put it in my basket of tricks, like I said, and keep that because I've just learned so much from them.
What are some of your future plans as being an assistant coach for Princeton?
We're hoping to win a national championship here. I think COVID kind of put a halt to us, and this year we made a good run. We beat Harvard in the first round of ECAC to get us to the Final Four there of the ECAC. But we're chasing that national title, and I think we had a good group coming in, and we're really excited for this upcoming year.
Of course, what does a typical game day look like for Princeton ice hockey?
So on Fridays we play at 6. So we have pregame skate at 11, and then we have a little bit of a break. We have team meal together at the dining hall. And then the coaches usually walk up to Starbucks. The girls go get ready, put on their dress clothes, and then we meet at the rink around 4, and we have a pregame talk. And then the girls are off and they're getting ready and getting focused for the game. And the coaches, I'd like to say we're sitting there planning out special plays, but we're usually just chatting, getting to know each other in the office. Sometimes we do our hair, it depends, but it's usually pretty relaxed. We've prepared the whole week for the game. So if we're not prepared by then, I think it's too late. So it's actually more relaxing, I would say, than you would think, because you prepare all week for the weekend. So
what is it like, obviously, getting to play teams like Brown, Harvard, and Yale?
Yeah, so the Ivy League, and it's such a strong league. Every game anyone can win, and I think the younger athletes these days, they understand how important academics is, and so I think that we're really starting to get the top players realizing that, okay, I can go to an Ivy League school, work on my academics, come out with a great degree, but also play at the top level. And so it's great playing against other Ivy Leagues, and to see Yale go on to the Frozen Four this year, I think it just shows that, you can go to an Ivy League school and still be very successful.
Who are some of the teams that you face besides obviously Harvard, Yale, and Princeton and Brown?
Other teams in our league. So Clarkson, Colgate, Quinnipiac, we play Union, RPI. We played Syracuse this year, and Providence, Northeastern as well. So it's good to play some of those out of conference games that you never get to see the other teams play. And then heading into this coming season, we go to Nashville actually for a tournament, which would be really cool. And we're playing Minnesota, Duluth, and Northeastern, I'm pretty sure.
What is that like, obviously, getting to play some of those teams that aren't Ivy League schools like Boston College, Quinnipiac, and Colgate?
Yeah, so it's fun, like I said, to play out of conference games. You know, you play in conference all the time, so you're seeing that competition, but you have those rivalries. But then when you play out of competition, it's nice to see how you match up in those other leagues. You don't know, you know, everyone plays a different style. Whether you're at home or if you go to Northeastern or Syracuse or Providence, it's nice to be in a different rink and see a different campus too.
What are some of the game day traditions that you've helped implement for Princeton women's ice hockey?
Traditions, you know what? When I was younger, I used to be like very on top of my traditions, but I'm really not sure we have many traditions. I think, you know, obviously our players have quite a few, but as coaches, I think I don't really think we have many traditions. Probably walk to Starbucks.
Of course, what does the recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes looking to play women's ice hockey?
Yeah, so I think the pool is tremendous. You know, the development of women's hockey around the world has grown so much. But you can't talk to the athletes until June 15th following their grade 10 year. And before that, it's kind of just we get out to the rinks and we get our eyes on them and see all these up and coming players. And it's just incredible to see the development of women's ice hockey. But, you know, come June 15th, there's calls that go out and just you start that dialogue with the athletes and see, you know, is the Ivy League something you want to do? Or, you know, you have these scholarship schools. And then following that, it's just, you know, emails, follow-ups, maybe your text messaging, but just a lot of communication, getting to know these players.
Of course, as a coach, what is it like obviously going out and looking at these prospective student athletes, and what do you look at in these prospective student athletes when on the road?
So there's tons of tournaments throughout North America for sure. And all the NCAA coaches were always out watching. But what are we looking for? I mean, obviously every school plays a different system or a different style. And so that's up to those schools to decipher through, you know, what kind of player they want. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think culture is such a huge thing in the women's game that, you know, if you have a great athlete that's not going to buy into your systems or into your culture, then, you know, is it worth the risk of them, you know, potentially stirring the pot in the change room? Like it's the attitude, the, you know, the work ethic, the buy-in that you really want to create that culture. Like at the end of the day, this is supposed to be the best 4 years of these players' lives. And, you know, it's not the wins and the losses they're going to remember. It's the fun that they have in the change room together. So I think that's a really big thing.
Of course, with obviously ice hockey, what is that like obviously getting to recruit international players like Canada, Finland, Sweden players versus obviously being a sport that only recruits US players?
Yeah. So, I mean, the game, like I said, it's grown so much. And the European League, the SDHL in Sweden, it's come a long way. It's, you know, one of the top leagues in the world. And so for those players over there to be able to, you know, have that goal to play in that league one day, it's pretty incredible. But yeah, I think it's special for me to go back home to Ontario and watch. We just had provincials back up there. So it was really nice to see those players, you know, having COVID, being shut down for almost 2 years. I think it was a struggle for a lot of those athletes, and to see them and just to see them around the rink, happy, jumping around and being back to themselves was special. That was me one day, you know, at my provincials. So it was great to see them. But yeah, it's incredible that you can go across the world and find these hockey players now.
What is it like, obviously, as you said, going back home and obviously getting to recruit those players in Montreal, Canada?
What was that like?
Hmm.
Yeah, like I said, it was special. Again, they were shut down for almost 2 years, and so I think it was tough for them. It was like, hey, you have practice, and then oh, just kidding, we're going to be shut down for a month, and then they'd bring them back, and you know they're online doing school. A lot of things were shut down, so you know for them it was tough to train. And you know you're training in your basement, you're doing what you can. Some of them don't have weights, and so again, like I said, just to see them, you know, in their element on the ice, you know, at Iceland, it was nice to see. It was refreshing to know that we're getting back to it and the world's opening up again.
Of course, what was that like, obviously, as a player getting to play in the obviously tournament, the NCAA tournament, versus obviously being a coach playing in the coaching in the Frozen Four?
So we haven't gotten there yet, but we were supposed to play Northeastern in the top 8 NCAA, but then COVID kind of hit. But I think there's different nerves, there's different excitement, but at the end of the day, as a coach, like it's just so exciting to know that all the work that the teams put in, that the coaches have put in, has paid off, and you're en route to chasing that national championship. And then as a player, it was super exciting, to be there, to be the top 4 team in the NCAA. It's such an accomplishment.
What does the official visit look like for those prospective student athletes looking to come to Princeton ice hockey?
Yeah, so typically they'll fly in, or if they're within driving distance, they'll drive to campus. They'll have the opportunity to stay with some of the players in the dorms. Depending on our schedule, they can watch a practice or a game that day. They get to eat in the dining halls, live the life of a student athlete at Princeton. They go to classes and see what that looks like, do a tour, sit down for lunch with the coaches. I think it's super special. And I think it's something that each student athlete should take advantage of, is their official visits, because, being on campus, being able to see what it's really like to be in the life of a student athlete at Princeton, or, at Harvard or at Yale. I think that truly can help you make your decision on where you want to be, where the best 4 years for you will be.
As a coach, what is it like obviously seeing those prospective student athletes getting to put on that Princeton jersey and falling in love with the colors of orange and black?
So I think it's a special moment. Heading into your first college game, I'm sure there's tons of nerves and excitement, but being able to represent an NCAA school at the Division I level is an incredible accomplishment. And I know that they cherish it here at Princeton. And being so academically driven, some people forget that we're really good at hockey too, and so we strive for our athletes to be the best, not only in the classroom but on the ice.
Of course, as a coach, what is it like obviously seeing those freshmen get to put on that jersey for the first time versus being a senior putting on that jersey for the last time?
So I think it's a sad moment for the seniors when they know, this could be our last game here at Princeton, or at any school. And it's sad, like it really touches me knowing that, every year you're going to have this class that's going to have their last day. And I think just cherishing every moment you have for your 4 years, when you're a freshman, you put that jersey on, you don't realize how fast the 4 years is going to go. Those incoming first years, they kind of take advantage of it, but then when you're a senior, you wish that you didn't. And so I think that's something we instill in our players, is to take advantage of what's in front of you and cherish it and be grateful for it.
What advice would you give high school prospective student athletes looking to play college ice hockey?
Sorry, can you say that again?
What advice would you give college ice hockey players, future college ice hockey players that are in high school looking to play college ice hockey?
I think I would just say, work hard, have fun, do everything you can to be successful. And at the end of the day, if you know that you've done all the work that you can, then that's all you can do. Control what you can control, and enjoy it. Enjoy the process. Make sure that you're having fun doing what you're doing. And if you love ice hockey, sometimes you're going to have to drive an hour and a half for practice, but if it's something you want to do, you got to commit to it, and you got to know that it's going to be a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work to be a Division I athlete, and it doesn't come easy.
What advice would you give college ice hockey players looking to play professional ice hockey, whether it's the PHF or the PWHPA?
So I would love for all these seniors to continue to play and to grow the game. And, we're hoping that something's going to come out of this year in the Olympic year, the hype that's going around the women's league. But I think playing hockey, your first year out of college is a great opportunity for you to continue to play the sport you love, but then, get into the working world, or kind of figure out exactly what you want to do. I know leaving college is a stressful time because, you're looking for a job and you're not sure, exactly what career path you want to go on. But I think growing the game and playing professionally is something that all these players strive for.
What is it like, obviously, as a coach, getting to see those players go on to the PHF, PWHPA, or even represent Canada?
Yeah, it's special. So this year we obviously had Claire Thompson and Sarah Fillier Claire graduated from Princeton, but Sarah obviously has 2 more years. But just to see them, go on and play for Team Canada at the Olympics, it's so special. Knowing, the hard work that they put in, the time commitment, and seeing that it paid off is incredible. But, leaving school and being able to play professional hockey, it's another accomplishment. Like it's not something that everyone's going to have the opportunity to do, and it's not easy. And so it's incredible to see your athletes go off and continue on after school.
What advice would you give those players looking to play for Team Canada or Team USA?
I would say, it's a lot of work, and you gotta put the fun aside, put your friends kind of not aside, but you're going to miss out on some events and some fun with your friends, because you got to put the work in. You got to get to the gym. You got to take care of your body. And I think the biggest thing would be to listen to your body and take care of it. It's not always about the hard work that you put in. Sometimes it's about the days that you take off to rest, or you take off to stretch and listen to your body and heal those injuries. Because at the end of the day, you don't want your body breaking down.
What advice would you give future college coaches looking to get started in the industry of coaching at college women's ice hockey?
I would say that it's a great job. I get to go to the rink every day, and growing up, my mom always told me to find a job that you're gonna love each and every day that you go to, and I love it. So if hockey's your passion, if giving back to the youth of the game and touching these players' lives is something that you're passionate about, I would say go for it, because it's, I think, the greatest job in the world.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media, along with Princeton's women's ice hockey program at?
My handles?
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't even know what they are. Let me look. I'm not a big social media person, but my Twitter is @Burchard14, and my Instagram is, how do I even find this? How do you find it?
Go to Instagram and go to you'll see at the top of your thing.
Oh, my Instagram's Courtney Kessel 14.
Thank you again, Courtney.
I'm terrible at social media.
Thank you again, Courtney Kessler, for your interview, and best of luck in your future at Princeton as the assistant ice hockey coach.
Thank you so much for having me.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Courtney Kessler, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.